Hey everybody, welcome to Fight Network's Downtown Studios. John Ramdeen alongside Robin Black. UFC 206 happening Saturday night at the Air Canada Centre. A ton of great fights that could give us fight of the night. The main event, the interim championship on the line at 145 pounds. Max Holloway, Anthony Pettis. You have Donald Cowboy Cerrone on this card taking on Matt Brown, Doo Ho Choi, Cub Swanson, Calvin Gastelum, Tim Kennedy, Nikita Krylov, Misha Serkinov, Zach Makovsky, Dustin Ortiz, Val Letourneau's on this card. But a fight that nobody's talking about, that's kind of flying under the radar, that could deliver incredible action. Lando Vannata, Groovy Lando, this free-flowing martial artist taking on the traditional martial artist who's trying to evolve in the Bull, John Makdessi.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
That's pretty cool. I mean, Groovy Lando, what most people know about him is this fight with Tony Ferguson. And he stepped in on short notice at 170 pounds and fought to a fight of the night, dropped Tony, top contender. No, that was at 155, I'm sorry. Top contender, Tony, dropped him, and spectacular fight. And was very hard to read and played with timing and range and movement a lot. And then if you know much about Makdessi, you saw a spinning back fist in his debut and spinning kicks and hook kicks. And, and I think he was among the first guys we ever commentated. And he's a spectacular fighter. But so we went back and we do commentate some classic shows here, Vintage Pancrase. And you and Rob Esposito, when selecting the fights to use on Vintage Pancrase episode 112, we found some Groovy Lando over in Japan. And some bitch, if he wasn't just the same. Very hard, different, playful, and spectacular. And this fight really, you're going to see a lot of outside things that you're not familiar with. The weird part about it that's going to be so fascinating is both of them will be doing things that 9 out of 10 of their opponents don't understand. These two will understand what's being presented to them. And you're going to see some madness.
One thing that we haven't always seen from John Makdessi, you and I have talked to him, very nice individual. He's just trying to promote the martial arts. He believes in his heart of hearts that he's destined to be a martial artist and compete in front of people. He believes that he doesn't always get to show what he's capable of. He's always trying to tap into the best version of John Makdessi. We've been told in the past that sometimes, you mentioned a guy like Uriah Hall getting in his own way. It seems like we've seen that from John Makdessi. How does he just go out and be free?
We got to talk with John a lot, and we like him very much. We like the way he fights and the way he views the martial arts. It is undeniable to me, as somebody with a small amount of study in combat sports psychology, and 2 or 3 professional psychologists and psych professors that we get to work with, it seems really obvious to me that John is a heavy overthinker. And he'll admit that. He'll talk about that. The issue when you're a heavy overthinker is you try to think your way out of it. Maybe if I think harder, maybe if I examine this heavier, maybe if I look deeper into this, maybe if I go down this road in more detail. And it's not that. You just got to let go of the wheel sometimes. And when he can do that, it is spectacular. And he does it more and more, and we've seen moments of it, we've seen entire fights of it. When it's combined with his real ravenous desire to win, it all comes together. Lando, on the other hand, this guy's that wheel is on its own. It is on its own. Wherever this car is going to skid through the snow and the ice and spin, we're going to be fine with it. And that's what I think we're going to see. That may bring that out of John. You know what I mean? Oh, right, we're doing this. I know how to do this. And if we see that, we may see things, we see things every week that we've never seen before. We see variations on technique. We see people innovating things. We're going to see that with this fight.
Do you believe that for Lando, where he cruises and he floats inside of that cage, will it come down to technique for John Makdessi to pull some of the traditional arts that he studied throughout his career, throughout his life, and incorporate them into this matchup?
I think there'll be moments where John Makdessi will realize the shortest distance to the chin is a straight line. You know what I mean? Because the kid can box too. The kid can move straight forward. He can slip his head off the line and get to you. And you'll see hooks and spins and all that kind of stuff. And if you draw that out and you create that feeling in Lando that we're painting some beautiful pictures out here, and then come in with the straight line. The man who gets and embraces the straight line and the linear within this fight, we'll have some success, no doubt.
I know a lot of people were talking about UFC 206, and it wasn't the fight card that they needed to see. Of course, the light heavyweight championship was on the line between Daniel Cormier and Anthony Rumble Johnson, a fight that we still need to see. But when you look at this fight card now and you see all the sensational matchups, some of the best action fighters in the world on this 206 fight card, how does the UFC take a hold of that and promote it? Because it seems that it isn't getting the traction that UFC 205 and UFC 207 has gotten.
You don't. You say, if you guys don't want to watch this card, don't watch this card. But I assure you that what you're going to see when it comes down to action fights, at the end of the night on this one, this is going to be the hardest one in years to decide what the fight of the night is.
A tremendous night of mixed martial arts action going down at UFC 206. I have a feeling there is going to be a lot of fight of the nights.